Hey friends, it's Kelly. I am back with a new layout for Hip Kit Club, and I am going to be using the January 2017 kits. This is my second layout using the kits, and this is going to be my basic design for my layout today. It's a little bit different than my traditional style. I do like to use pattern papers as my backgrounds, but I tend to choose pattern papers that have more of a subtle pattern to them. But I really liked the contrast between the yellows and the golden colors and the pink from that paper that I used to cut the hexagons. And that paper is from One Canoe 2. It's from the Hazelwood collection. And I paired it with a white and navy plaid pattern paper that is exclusive to Hip Kit Club. So sometimes it's kind of fun just to step outside your comfort zone and try something a little bit different. And I am happy with how this turns out, but it is quite different from my normal style. Okay, so I have grabbed a few of the Project Life cards to use as the layers behind my photo. And this is one of the cards that I want to use. But I want to make sure that you can see the whole flower image when I get all of the layers put together. So I am using my craft knife and my scissors to cut out a portion of this flower so I can rest it right next to another one of the Project Life cards, and you'll still be able to see the whole image. So here you can get a better look at what I was talking about. I've just cut out a portion of the flower, and then I'm going to slide that floral Project Life card right into that gray Project Life card, and you still can see the entire image, and it'll fit perfectly with the layers that I have going on. All of the layers behind my photo are going to be cards from the Project Life kit, and I'm just quickly going to go through just looking for cards that have similar colors to the color scheme that I have going on. Next, I'm going to bring in my photos so you can see them a little bit better. These are photos that were taken Easter of 2015. It is my son Aiden and my two nieces, and it was right before their Easter egg hunt. So the one, they are posing for the picture, and then the other, we told them they could head off and start looking for the Easter eggs, and it was truly an action shot. They ran as soon as we told them that they could go, that we were happy with the picture that we got, and it was just really cute. So I wanted to make sure that I included both pictures because it does help tell a story without me having to do too much journaling. Okay, so getting back to the layout, I'm going to trim down this Project Life card just a little bit just to make it fit with the layers that I have going on. And now I'm going to start working on getting everything adhered down. So I'm happy with the cards that I've chosen and how I want them positioned. I did lightly tack down all of the hexagons also just to make sure that I had them in place, and it was just going to help me be able to embellish the layout a little bit, having a general idea of where the hexagons were going to be. It's difficult to see from this camera angle, but I did add hand stitching to each one of those hexagons, and you will be able to see it in the close-ups at the end. All of the super small hexagons that are included on this layout are actually die cuts from the exclusive die cut pack, which I believe is in the embellishment kit this month. The word happy that I have laying on the layout is going to be part of my title, and that is from the same die cut pack. One of the things that I love about Hip Kit is the number of alphabet thickers or stickers that you get with each month's kits. So I was trying to decide what font I wanted to use for the word Easter, and I ended up deciding to use this white puffy alpha from Studio Calico, and that is included in the Project Life kit. Now the hand stitching that I added to these hexagons added a little bit of a 3D effect, especially to the ones that are overlapping. So I'm just bringing in some 3D foam dots and adding them to the hexagons that are overlapping each other just to make sure that it's going to lay evenly across the page and that they're not going to warp or distort once I get them into a page protector. Now I'm going to add a layer of vellum behind each of the photos just to bring in a little bit more texture and a little bit more interest to the photos. I like vellum. I like how it adds all of those things without being too overbearing or too distracting. Once I have that vellum trimmed down to size, I'm going to bring in some fun foam and just add it behind one of the photos. Again, just to add a little bit of elevation and a little bit more interest and just to help to draw your eyes to the photos. My photos are very small and this layout is pretty busy, so I wanted to try to bring as much attention to the photos as I could. I'm going to use liquid adhesive to adhere the photos down just to make sure that they're not going to shift or move once they get inside a page protector. I think we've all had that happen when we use tape runner adhesive, when we're flipping through our albums months or years later. There are items that are at the bottom of the page protector because the tape runner adhesive did not hold. I also add liquid adhesive to each of the hexagons, again, just to make sure that they are going to stay exactly where I want them to be. I'm going to use a couple of the cork shapes from the One Canoe 2 Hazelwood collection. Those cork shapes are included in the Project Life kit this month. I'm going to go ahead and get the word happy adhered down. I already have the word Easter adhered to the layout. I'm also going to bring in a couple stickers from the One Canoe 2 Hazelwood collection. I'm going to add that bee to that cluster that I have on the top right. And then I also bring in an arrow and I'll add that to the bottom left cluster. I feel like I need to add a third cork shape just to help bring in a visual triangle, since I have the cork flower on the top right and then the butterfly kind of towards the center of the layout. So I went to the moonstruck cork shapes that are included in the embellishment kit. I really like the One Canoe 2 cork shapes, but I couldn't find one the size that I needed to add to that bottom left-hand cluster. So I decided to go with one of the moonstruck butterflies, and it just helps represent that visual triangle that I was talking about. So I want to add just a little bit more embellishing to the layout, but I want to find something that's not going to be too loud or too distracting, because I feel like the layout is already pretty busy all on its own. So I grabbed a few of these butterfly rub-ons from the One Canoe 2 Hazelwood collection, and these rub-ons are included in the main kit this month. I wasn't sure where I wanted to position them on the layout, and as you know, once you apply a rub-on, it is permanent. So I'm going to apply them to vellum first and fussy cut them out, and then I can use them almost as an ephemera piece and move them around the layout until I find the exact spot that I want to put them, and then just adhere it down. And vellum can be a little tricky to adhere down because a lot of the times you can see the tape runner or the liquid adhesive through the vellum. But I found using my Xyron sticker maker that I can't see the adhesive. So a lot of the times if I have smaller vellum accents that I want to add to the layout, I'll just use the Xyron, run it through, and then just adhere it down. I like it because it applies full coverage adhesive to the back of the vellum, so I know that it's not going to shift and I know that it's not going to move. And this is something that's a little bit different for me also. I am actually going to leave the manufacturing strip on the bottom of the pattern paper and use it as part of the design. So I've just trimmed off 1/4 of an inch from the top of the pattern paper just to make the background a 12 by 12 size. Now off camera, I thought that I wanted to add a little bit of shading to the word happy using a pencil just to help it stand off the page a little bit more. But once I started adding the shading to the letters, I realized that I didn't really like it. So when I went to erase the pencil marks, I erased on the letters of the word happy just a little bit. And I noticed that I added a little bit of shading to those letters. And I thought it was a really cool look. And I felt like it added just a little bit more detail to that word. I haven't tried it on any of the other die cuts in the die cut pack, but I think it's worth a try. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Just added a little bit more interest to that word. So just a little tip, maybe something you can try if you're interested in it, if you're using any of the die cuts and you just want to add a little bit more detailing to them. All right, so I'm going to bring in the still shot so you can see everything in a little bit more detail. Remember to head over to the Hip Kit Club Facebook forum to check out this week's sketch, which is what my layout is based off of. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again very soon with another layout and another process video.